Throwback Madness returns. Happy Thursday, Throwback Thursday, Throwback Madness. Hence the video. Madness 80 here, looking at Spider Hulk. So, taking you back to 2006. I was a young man then, collecting action figures just as I am now. This figure in particular was in, so Marvel Legends was, up and running. We still got separate Spider-Man waves, and the most notable wave mates in this was a Hobgoblin and a Hydro Man, and two like crazy Spider-Man variants. I believe this was sculpted by 4 Horsemen, who obviously are still around and kicking it, sculpting for various action figure companies today, and have their own success with Mythic Legions. Fantastic, and probably most photogenic action figures of all time. Let's get them front and center. Looking good. It still kind of holds up, but it does and it doesn't. It looks good for what it is. It doesn't look as ugly and has aged as poorly as some of the Toybiz figures have. Other Toybiz figures, a lot of them, the sculpts are there. It's just where the joints were cut that kind of make it look all wonky and old. This being no exception. You can see ball jointed hips there, and then the articulated fingers, which a lot of us aren't fans of anymore, at least, or prefer them on larger figures, hence the Sentinel and Galactus and all that stuff. But yeah, this figure was a beast for his time. 2006, so this was probably what, a $8.99 figure, $9.99 figure. Insane. Looking at him here, standing here, I mean, we'll do some comparisons, and we'll just wish really hard for Toybiz to get for Hasbro to get around in making a new Spider Hulk figure. All right, let me bring him up close. We'll get up close, personal, and critique what's there. We'll go over articulation. I may not bend the joints. He is a fragile old figure at this point. 2006. That's a minute ago. Let's do this. Here he is, looking, ugly. This is so weird how this is sculpted. Obviously, the lower jaw is protruding. You can see there. But it kind of goes out at an angle. So you can see there how just oddly sculpted that lower jaw was. That always bothered me. But this figure is fantastic. I remember it being gifted to me. I don't remember by who. So, this is the original. I opened it myself. I did lose the beam. It came with like a beam that he can break apart. It's kid-friendly accessory since, these were aimed at children way back when. And, they really aren't anymore. I got some scuffage there. Paint marks there. Yeah, so don't mind. Again, this is an older figure. However, let's appreciate... Oh, and he does have a gimmick. You could see. I'll show you that in a bit. But let's appreciate what's here in the sculpt. So besides that jaw, the rest of this figure is fantastic. I love it. Sculpted in web lines, fantastic. And they're colored. Although we don't see any paint here. Looking good. I love these tears with some crazy wash over it and cross hatch in there. Got these muscles ripping out through his spine, ripping his spider suit open. You got the Spider-Man logo there on the back. I got a scratch there on his butt, some green paint there. Looking awesome. So 2006, right? That's what I said. I believe this was March 2006. Look at that. No sculpting there on the joints. Very smooth crotch there. But yet then you got these cross hatches again, showing some green Hulk skin. Looking good. Painted nicely. Look at these fingernails. The detail back then, I mean, these were more... Try to be done in a more realistic style. No, I wouldn't say... Yeah, I guess so. There was more detail, more scratches, more washes, and all that stuff. However, I do kind of prefer what we're getting now, the bright cartoony colors for the comic book characters, and then the detailed washes and highlights and all that stuff on the MCU figures. So again, as I mentioned, jointed fingers. We'll go back and appreciate... Oh yeah, and articulated toes. Again, a staple of all these older figures. I mean, this is like a modern Jazzwares Fortnite figure, right? Articulated fingers. Although these are individually articulated. Usually, it's the one that bends them all. But yeah, these toes, crazy detail on these toenails. Looking good. It is a good figure. So placing Hulk here up against the lineup, he is slightly above 7 inches tall, maybe 7.5 even. I know it looks different from the perspective that we have this camera at, but trust me, he isn't. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends thing. So although this isn't Bruce Banner, this is a Peter Parker that is hulked out. I think it's okay that he is slightly smaller size. So, but this is slightly apples to oranges here, since this is a Toybiz figure versus a Hasbro figure. But I do think Hasbro scales slightly larger. But as mentioned, it being Peter Parker, I wouldn't mind it being a smaller figure. However, I can't imagine them remaking this figure from scratch. I would imagine they would paint a spider suit over this existing body, since I think they're getting their money's worth out of this with the gray Hulk, the other green Hulk, the compound Hulk, the Maestro, this Hulk. What do we got? I'm sure there's something else coming that I'm forgetting. But we wouldn't get sculpted lines if they went ahead and painted this. It'd be similar to the classic Spidey. With clean painted lines, I think that would be acceptable. However, I don't know how much extra work or the extra mile they're willing to go to get rips and tears for exposed skin and muscle on the other, on the other end of that costume. It'd be appreciated though. These pants have been done in that, and they're basically jeans, so I think they would have to get a new crotch piece and then something new from the knee down, so we can get near complete boots with exposed toes if they want to go that route. Now, having said all that, there is a cheaper alternative for them. They could keep this figure nearly 100% with a new head, because I believe there was the Immortal Hulk, who somehow, like Peter Parker, became the Hulk in a story not too far, and I'll go ahead and put a picture up. Similar to this, with tears, he's barefoot, and the top part of the body can just be the Spider-Man suit painted with a head with an exposed lower jaw. That isn't a cheaper alternative. It isn't necessarily the same figure, and I think I might be okay with that too. Beggars can't necessarily be choosers. I think it'd be a nice figure. So quickly going over this old figure's articulation, you could see his head is on a hinge. So you get that up and down movement. His arms are ball jointed. They can go out to about there. He does have a bicep cut. Great for an older figure. Single jointed elbow, which is pretty stiff on mine. You could see with not much range, but there it is. There it is. Hear how tight that is? Wow. And then individual thumb, index, ring, middle ring, and pinky finger with also joints at the knuckles. Insane. Insane. He does have a diaphragm, which we kind of see in most of these figures. I mean, that Hulk is similar, and that thing is similar now. So this was ahead of its time, plus a waist swivel, which I believe those two have as well. Great. We do see ball jointed hips. That's old, and doesn't necessarily look good. I mean, look how much more natural that is versus this. His legs do go out to there. You do get a thigh cut. You can see it's shaped differently. It's not just an even slice. And then you do get your single jointed knee. Got a giant buff calf plus his thick thigh blocking that. No boot cut, although there is a sculpted in line here. No boot cut. And then these are not moving. I'm not even going to try. So you would have had that. And then there is a pivot. Not bad for an old figure. Plus your toe joint. Insane. Pretty good. The gimmick here, though, is like kind of a Hulk smash type thing. So up, down. Now, I don't know if, I mean, I got this figure way back when. I honestly don't remember how it behaved. So I don't know if I was supposed to, if it's supposed to lock in place or if it was supposed to like just kind of up and down. So if you know, let me know. I don't remember, man. This was more of a display piece to me, not something I really played with. So I don't know if the functionality bent or froze over time on mine. I just don't recall. So what do you think? I think this figure is deserving of an update. Again, either version, I'll put them up here. You let me know. I think they, I actually wouldn't mind the newer version of the Immortal Hulk. It's still Peter Parker, and it's still, I think, would make a great action figure. And if it's easier for Hasbro, they can use this. It's good. Talk about getting your money's worth out of a mold, right? Awesome. All right. Thank you for checking out this throwback video. I know it's quick, it's dirty. Hell, it's old. Look at that figure. Please subscribe if you haven't. I would appreciate that. Please share this video with your friends and like and leave a comment. Let me know what other figures are still in need of a update. I think Man Spider would be another good one among others that I can't think of. Hypno Hustler, though. Never had a figure. I think he deserves one. Let's do it. Thank you again. I will see you in the next one.